Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here to bring you my review for the brand new release Far Cry New Dawn. Now this is probably a better idea if I give you an update as to my experiences with the Far Cry franchise, which to be honest is pretty limited. I have dabbled in most of the Far Cry games from 3 onwards, but I've never been wowed by them. I'm not a huge fan of first person shooters, let's just get that out of the way straight away. So I've not usually been that interested in them, even though I've played them. I played Far Cry Primal, I thought that was okay. I haven't even played Far Cry 5. It was one of those games that I thought, it's getting good reviews, it looks alright, I'll wait while it comes on a sale. And then when it started coming down in price, I noticed that this was coming out, Far Cry New Dawn. And I saw the trailers and things, and I think I did a trailer reaction to it. I thought, oh, this looks interesting, and then I realised, and I got to know that it was set in the same map, Hope County, as Far Cry 5, and it was a continuation of that story. And I thought, oh, and it's cheaper than it's going to be cheaper than the base game Far Cry 5 when it comes out. I thought, I'm going to wait for this one, and there's a few reasons why I chose to wait for this one. I wasn't particularly that interested in Far Cry 5, as I've said, and this one sounded really cool to me. It's a post-apocalyptic game. There's been a nuclear war, a nuclear holocaust. You come up from the ground 17 years later, and you find that the world is actually quite different than most post-apocalyptic games. It's a little brighter, to say the least. It's very colourful. It's got a very, very distinguished look about it, this game. And what sold me on this game was the idea of the fact that it's post-apocalyptic. You get your own base, prosperity, that you can build up, and you're going out into the world to forge for supplies, to improve your weapons, improve your base, improve everything. And the other element that had been added into the game was this new RPG element, which really interested me because I'm a huge fan of RPGs. I love the way they've implemented it into their Assassin's Creed games. I think that works really well, and I was interested to see how they were going to implement it into this game. So after playing this game now for a good 15 hours, I would say, I haven't just completed the story yet, but I don't think you necessarily need to complete the story in this game to give you a good review of the game, because the story is arguably the weakest part of this game. But I've done a load of missions, I've done a few side missions, I've done some of the expeditions, I've done a lot of the bases, taken them over, etc. And I know how the game works and the mechanics work, so I can give you a fair review here on this game. And the truth of the fact is, whether you hate Far Cry or you hate Ubisoft, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. And I don't like first person shooters, so that's got to stand for something. I like the way this game looks. I think the graphics are tremendous. I like the way the game feels. I like the way the game, when you use the weapons, how responsive they are, how they feel impactful. I like the variety of enemies, and by that I mean they're either grey, blue, purple and yellow, and they move up in class. And if you're shooting an enemy with a grey gun, one of your grey guns, and they're blue, you ain't going to kill them very easily at all. You're going to get your ass handed to you. So this game encourages you to delve into the RPG mechanics and upgrade your weapons. And what I really, really liked about this, one of the things I liked about it, was when you upgrade prosperity, your base, the base of it, and there's little sections, like you've got the garage, training area, you've got the helipad, and the workbench for your guns, herbal area. There's loads of different areas of prosperity that you can upgrade that I really liked. But the weapon side of it, if you upgrade that, then you can then craft the more powerful weapons, and then they don't all look the same either. So you've got your grey weapons that look pretty standard, then it goes up to blue, and they start getting a bit more out there. And as you go down this ladder, as you increase your weapons ability to craft better weapons, they look really cool, some of these weapons, and it really encourages you to go out there, because you need ethanol to upgrade your base. And ethanol you get little bits of ethanol for completing some missions, but the majority of ethanol you get from taking over these bases that are occupied by the highwaymen, which are the main bad guys in this game. And again, with the bases, it's a similar mechanic. When you take over a base, when it's on its lowest level, you can choose to scavenge that base and let the enemy have it back. And once you do that, you can then go back to it. However, the next time you go back, you better go back with better weapons, because they're going to be stronger enemies. They're going to be the next level up of enemies, so you've got to be able to take them out with better weapons. And I really like that. It gives you something to aim for. For me, one of my favourite things in Fallout 4, and I know a lot of people think that game is flawed, but I loved it, was the building mechanics in there, and the base building and things like that. And I like games where you get base building elements, and this has it. It's quite light base building, but it feels like home. Sometimes when I've been playing this game, I'll be out in the wilderness and I'll be doing missions, and I'll be scavenging and going through abandoned houses and warehouses and all these random events, and then you realise, I might need to go back shortly. But you want to go back to your base prosperity, because you feel safe when you're there for the most part. There are a couple of missions that put it directly at risk, but that was exciting. There's too many games out there with base mechanics where the base is never under threat, and that lets it down. And I'm looking at you, Dragon Age Inquisition. I love Dragon Age Inquisition, but you never get any siege at your base there, and it does get under threat, this base, occasionally. Another thing this game does brilliantly is the expedition missions. This is new, my understanding is, to the Far Cry franchise, where you go in the helicopter, you go to another area of the country, and for example the first one, and there is some footage of it in this review, the first one you go to is an abandoned aircraft carrier, and you've got to go to this location, collect a package, but as soon as you collect that package, there's a GPS goes off in the package, and you are literally swarmed upon by the enemy, and you've got to hold your position. You've got to get to the landing zone and hold your position for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it is tense. Really exciting gameplay, and fans of first-person shooters, I don't see how you couldn't enjoy this bit. I'm not a fan of first-person shooters, and I was really enjoying these bits. So there are loads of cool elements in this game. The exploration's really good. I like the vehicles, a lot of the vehicles and stuff. There's some really cool wildlife out there that have been affected by the nuclear fallout. They're really hard to kill, and they're leveled by like the enemies as well, the wildlife that's out in the wilderness. And there's some great treasure hunts as well. I almost forgot. These are really cool, the treasure hunts. I think there's 10 treasure hunts, and you get to these places and there's like a little puzzle to solve to figure out how you're going to get to this treasure, and they're not particularly challenging, but they're challenging enough, and it might take a few minutes to figure out the majority of them. But there's some really cool loot in there, and they're another strong point of the game. So it's not just a running, gunning shooter. It's got so many different things with it. You've got companions. I think there's about 7 or 8 companions to unlock, something like that. I've seen some reviews where they said they were repetitive and annoying. I didn't mind them too much. I actually quite liked. It felt a bit reassuring to have somebody alongside you as you're out in the wilderness fighting. So you've got companion missions to do as well to unlock them. There's actually quite a lot to do here in this game, and my understanding is the map is smaller than Far Cry 5, but it's still, in my opinion, a pretty bloody big map. There's loads of exploration to be done, loads of fun quests. Yes, the story is particularly weak. I've seen a lot of people say that they thought the two twins, the two main bad guys in this, were a bit weak and stuff. They were alright. Story's okay, but for me it just felt like a reason to go from A to B. I never felt that invested in the story, other than I did feel compelled to upgrade Prosperity and make that stronger and improve that community. And you can go around and see all the people you've rescued and your companions, and you can chat to them and upgrade everything, and you can craft new guns, new vehicles. One debunked feature that I just didn't think was any use at all. I didn't see why it was in there, why you can customise your own character, which I just thought was stupid, because you can't see him other than in the menu, and an occasional cutscene at when you take over a base, the camera kind of pulls out and you see yourself. But it seems a bit bloody stupid to me. I've been able to customise your character when you can't even see him, but it's a minor niggle. And I suppose you could argue it does get a little bit repetitive sometimes, but it sneaks up on you as well, this game, because even when you think it's getting repetitive, you'll come up against a stronger enemy who kicks your ass, so you can't rest on your laurels with this game either. So I've got to say, I'm having a huge amount of fun with this game. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's worth buying. If you're a fan of Far Cry franchise, it's a must in my opinion. If you want just a first person shooter that's a lot of fun, and you're not a fan of first person shooters, give this one a go, because I'm glad I have. So there you go guys, that's my review for Far Cry New Dawn. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.